go this one here, perfect. I can jump this one, great. I go here on this one, yes. No! 3 left. I can't beat this. I can't win no matter how hard I try. I can't beat this brain teaser. My brain is so sore. Have you ever tried to do brain teasers? Have you ever completed one before? Because I can't do it. But will I ever give up? Never! You see, someone wise once told me, must have been my cat, that if you first don't succeed, try and try again. Well, at least that's what I was taught. You see, that's responsibility. Responsibility is showing you can be trusted with what is expected of you. So let's do this. Let's get all these pieces off this magic triangle. Here we go. Skip that one, perfect. Down this one here. Got one. I got 2 left. Teasers. I can't do this anymore. Help me, please. I can't do this. I can't listen anymore. I can't do it. I have to get all these pegs off here, but I can't do it. Wait, this isn't right. I should have quit something just because it's hard. I'd never get anything done, so let's do this. I've got this many pieces left. I started all over again. I'm gonna get all these pieces off. I have to do this. All I got left. Oh, yeah. Yes! Off you go! Gone! Last piece. Oh, yes, I did it. I am the mind magic champion. I am the best, and it's all because how I whined and complained how hard it was. That's for sure how I did it. Well, now that I think about it, doing any of that stuff never actually helped me in the end. But it does remind me what we're going to learn about in today's story. And I'll try not to bug you anymore. It's actually about ants, and I guess ants are technically insects, not bugs, so that joke was a flop. Listen, roll the film. I'll see you guys right after.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verses 6 through 8.
King Solomon was young when he became ruler of Israel after his father David. One night, God spoke to him in a dream.
Ask for anything you want me to give you.
What? Solomon had just been given the greatest gift of all time. He could have asked for anything. Unlimited money, the power to defeat all of his enemies, or even to be the best loved, longest living king of all time. Instead though, Solomon made a different ask.
Lord, you have now made me king, but I'm only a little child. I don't know how to carry out my duties, so give me a heart that understands. Then I can rule over your people. I can tell the difference between what is right and what is wrong.
Solomon asked for wisdom, and God gave it to him. In fact, Solomon became known as the wisest man to ever live. Over the course of his life, he shared many wise sayings that were later recorded in the book of Proverbs.
These sayings are to help people do what is just and fair, to help young people learn wisdom. Only fools refuse to listen and learn.
The wisdom recorded in Proverbs gives godly advice about nearly everything, from using words wisely to staying away from trouble. But the most famous passages talk about the value of hard work.
You people who don't want to work, think about the ant. Consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, it has no leader or ruler, but it stores up its food in summer. It gathers its food at harvest time.
When was the last time you paid attention to an ant, other than the one that you were going to squash on the kitchen floor? To better understand what Solomon means about work, well, I think it's time we take a closer look. Did you know that there are about 1 million ants on Earth for every single human? Yikes! My skin is crawling right now. But just look at how amazing these little guys are. Like Solomon said, nobody lays out a set of rules for them. Nobody offers them an allowance or more screen time if they finish their work. God made them in such an incredible way that they stick with it and get the job done. In fact, some ants can lift up to 50 times their own weight. If you were that strong, you could lift an entire car. And ants use that super strength to store up their food, just like we see in Proverbs. And ants also work smart. They leave a special trail of chemicals, called pheromones, that tells them where they've been so they don't get lost or repeat themselves. And ants are incredibly creative. They actually farm aphids in order to have a constant supply of the honeydew aphids release. And the ants' creativity doesn't stop there. In times of flooding, ants will even protect the queen by forming a lifeboat with their own bodies. Just like Solomon reminds us, ants do whatever it takes to gather up the food they need and to protect their colony. They know how to get the job done, and that's with only about 250,000 brain cells. But you? God made you with 10 million brain cells. He's given you everything you need to work strong, smart, and creatively. And because God has given us so much, there's so much more we can do. In the New Testament, Luke records some of Jesus' words.
Much will be required of everyone who has been given much.
You are creative and strong. You have a brain that works like no one else's. You are determined. And most of all, you are created in God's image. That means that you can work hard at whatever it takes to show love to God and the people He's made. Sometimes that might look like helping raise funds to provide clean water for kids on the other side of the world. Sometimes that might look like cleaning your room before your mom has to remind you 5 times. Or working hard to help your little sister to build an epic Lego palace. Whatever your work, remember Solomon's wisdom.
You people who don't want to work, think about the ant. Consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, it has no leader or ruler, but it stores up its food in summer. It gathers its food at harvest time.
Be wise. Work hard. God has given you everything you need to follow through.
Who here loves doing chores? Every night as my wife Carrie put the kids to bed, I do any of the leftover dishes, I sweep the floor, I pick up the toys that Ren might have missed putting away, and I tidy up the living room. Every night. And if we didn't work, nothing would ever get done. But there's something about doing work that makes you feel so good. And when it comes to those ants that crawl everywhere, getting all the food, if they didn't work, guess what happened? They would have no food for the winter. You see, we actually need work. Jesus actually showed us how we can love others and serve them, and how He always did it with joyful heart. You see, Jesus came to this earth not to be served, but to serve. Imagine that. Jesus, the God who created everything in the world, came here to serve. You see, when we work, we should do it with a good attitude. Do all things with a joyful heart, as if we're working for God. Think about that. Every time you do housework around the house, not only are you doing it for your mom or your dad, but you're actually doing it for God. Right? That's pretty cool. That's awesome. And we shouldn't whine and complain every time someone asks us to do something. As much as we don't want to do different chores around the house or things like that, but imagine if you worked hard even before someone asks. What would that do? What would that do if your mom or your dad or whoever looks after you came home and they saw your room was already clean? Your Lego was put away, your dolls are put away, your toys are being used, it's all gone, and your room is spick and span. Oh man, it would blow their minds. But imagine the joy they have, but the joy that you would have too. Or imagine when after supper, instead of skipping away to do your own thing, you actually offer to clean up. You do the dishes, or you put the dishes away and you wipe the table down. It's just a great reminder. You see, our bottom line today is a simple one, but one to remember. It says this: work hard. Work hard. When you work, put your whole heart into it. I promise you'll feel great afterwards, and so will the person you help. Whether it's your mom, your dad, or even your brother or sister, if you help them out, they're going to love it. So this week, remember that bottom line: work hard. So whatever you're doing, whether it's at school or it's your chores, make sure that you're not just whining and complaining, moping and groping, but you're doing it with a joyful heart. Thanks so much guys for joining me today. And because you joined me on video, you have a chance of winning a prize today. And all you have to do is this. You have to scan this picture called the QR code with your parents' phone, or your parents can do it for you actually, and they'll be prompted to send me a text message. All they have to do is type in the bottom line for today. I said it a couple times. So all you have to do is text me that number and you'll have a chance of winning a prize, a $10 gift card to McDonald's. Yes, it's gonna be so good. I'll pick that person on Wednesday. Okay, so make sure you pay attention to that on our Facebook Kids Point page. All right, guys, thanks so much for coming, guys. I can't wait to see you guys next week. See you later.